DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You are listening to The Daily Dog with your host, Michele Forto. The Daily Dog offers training advice, tips and tricks, and maybe even a book or movie review, too.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's the Daily Dog. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 pet peeves and how to address them, as well as our breed of the day, the Appenzeller Sennenhund. It's been a long day and all you want to do is get home, pull on your lounge clothes, and relax with your favorite TV show. But you are quickly reminded that when you walk in the door, Max has plans of his own. He's been waiting for you all day long, wondering if you're coming back with his favorite Chinese takeout. Of course he's planning on jumping into your arms and giving you a big wet kiss on the cheek. He's seen this done 1,000,000 times on your favorite TV show, so he's sure this is what you expect when he sees you. Because of his excitement, he cannot stop telling you about his day by barking loudly in your face. And then, whoops, there goes the accident on the floor while you're struggling to get his leash on to get undoubtedly dragged out of the door to his favorite bathroom spot. Then you realize he greets everyone this way. This ritual happens every single day, every time you attempt to get him out the door. Of course he loves seeing the neighbors and their dogs, so he tells the neighbors he's outside to play and visit by barking. There's got to be a better way. Max is an obedient dog once the excitement wears off, so what is missing? Poor greeting behaviors, excitability, barking, and urination, along with jubilant pulling on the leash, are the #1 complaints I hear about when I'm contacted for help. To address bad manners, you must be consistent in how you greet your dog by teaching him what to expect, no matter how excited he is to see you. Sitting politely for petting is a great way to start to demonstrate to Max that you will not give attention unless he is sitting patiently waiting for you. To accomplish this and add a future benefit, teaching him how to greet familiar people and strangers, you'll want to teach him a command I call visit. When he is sitting politely, waiting or staying in place while you enter the house, or when you are greeted by visitors, Max is not released to receive attention until you say, visit. He is then allowed to greet you or the person for petting as long as he keeps all 4 on the floor. But the jumping up behavior that is unwanted has to be unlearned. So in order to address jumping up when greeting, keep your attention and your hands away from your dog unless his front paws are on the floor. Immediately give your dog attention the instant his front feet land on the floor. Petting, scratching, etc. When your dog starts to jump up, stand still, look straight ahead, nod at your dog, and pull your hands and arms up to your chest. You can also rotate your body away from the dog. Calmly wait for your dog to stop jumping. When his front paws touch the floor, immediately look at him and calmly stroke him. If he gets excited and jumps up again, straighten back up and repeat the sequence. Get friends and neighbors to practice door greetings with you. That way you can relax and take the time you need to get the correct response from your dog before you even open the door. Then allow a visit if you choose to. Showing Max that not every time he sits politely will elicit visiting a new person or familiar person shows him that it shouldn't be expected. Excessive barking. Everyone loves a happy and exuberant dog, but overly excited and out-of-control dogs can be a nuisance. Of course, we want our dogs to bark to alert us of danger or problems, so it's important to be tactful in our approach to curtailing excessive barking. Allowing the dog to bark a few times before asking for quiet helps build impulse control in your dog and prevents his excitement from getting out of hand. Allow your dog to bark 3 to 4 times, then say, quiet. Avoid shouting. Just say the command clearly and calmly. Go to your dog and gently hold his muzzle closed with your hand and repeat, quiet. Release your dog's muzzle, step away, and call him away from the door or window. Ask your dog to sit and give him a treat if he stays beside you and remains quiet. Continue to give him frequent treats for the next few minutes until whatever triggered his barking is gone. If your dog resumes barking right away, repeat the sequence above. Do the same outside if he barks at passerby when he's in the yard. The quiet procedure is ineffective after 10 to 20 attempts. Then allow your dog to bark 3 to 4 times calmly. Say quiet, and then immediately make a startling noise by shaking a set of keys or an empty soda can filled with pennies. If your dog is effectively startled by the sound, he will stop barking. What about begging at the table for that Chinese takeout? We all want to spoil and love our dogs, but some behaviors need to be nipped in the bud before they turn into a lifetime of irritation. What starts as adorable begging can quickly escalate into food stealing, counter-surfing, even guarding behaviors. Separate or distract a begging dog. Work toward a sit-stay in an appropriate area while the family eats. Dog-safe leftovers can be fed from a bowl after dinner time. If your dog has not yet developed the begging habit, don't encourage it. Ignore the dog while seated at the table. No petting, no attention, no tidbits. If food is dropped in the dining room, pick it up. If you allow the dog to be your vacuum during dinner, he will always feel welcome in the space. If it's too late and the whining and barking at mealtime has already begun, prevent begging by controlling your dog's access to the table. Remove access with a baby gate. If your dog is crate trained, put him in the crate during meal times. Ask for a sit-stay on a nearby but out-of-reach bed or mat. Provide a bone or filled Kong to occupy the dog's attention during the meal. Pulling on the leash. When you walk at a good pace, more than likely your pooch trots along to keep up and has fewer opportunities to stop and smell the flowers. But when things slow down, pulling can become a frustrating problem. Remember, every second your dog is on the leash, you are either training or untraining behaviors in your dog. Mix up your pace, use positive reinforcement to maintain your dog's attention, and be the leader in your walks. Consider the full range of harnesses, leads, and collars available to you. What works like magic on one dog could be aggravating to another. You might get a loan from a friend or your trainer to try out a piece of equipment that you are interested in but not ready to buy. Make yourself the focus of your dog's attention by setting the pace. Even if you only have a few minutes of speed walking in you, try starting your walk quickly and with purpose. For the speed portions of your walk, try using a shorter leash length until he reliably keeps up. On the shorter leash, if you sense your dog about to surge ahead, you can try a gentle squeeze on the leash or to physically step ahead of him to block his rush. If he responds to the gentle squeeze by looking at you or slowing his speed, always praise him immediately. In the fast portion of your walk, as your dog responds better to your cues, try more randomized, circuitous routes. You want the dog to be attentive to you, not just following a pre-planned route every day. For slower, loose leash portions of your walk, check in with your dog regularly by saying her name, making a specific noise, or a gentle squeeze on the leash. If she makes eye contact with you in response to your signal, praise her or give her a treat. Start out easy by trying to get her attention when she isn't distracted and slowly work up to asking for her attention in more and more distracting environments. If your dog gallops ahead, try turning immediately in a circle. If you are concerned about your dog getting jerked at the end of the leash when you turn, try saying a word or phrase like "with me" or "come on" to regain his attention, or try calling his name or giving the leash a gentle squeeze to get eye contact. Most dogs figure out quite quickly that if pulling doesn't get them where they want to go, they may as well play your game. Rewards and praise any eye contact or effort on his part to follow along with you. Using consistent lengths of leash for close walking and loose leash walking really helps your dog understand what range you expect him to move in. You can put a couple knots in your leash for consistency. Avoid retractable leashes until your dog has a reliable recall and won't injure himself running against the end of it. Inappropriate urination. Adopting an older dog has its challenges and benefits. It can take time to figure out where they are in terms of training and housebreaking, especially if they come from a hoarding or breeding situation. For some people, being able to skip the puppy stage and having the gratification of rescuing a less adoptable animal more than makes up for a little accident here or there. If your dog has no medical reason for urinating indoors, you will need to use your investigative skills to look for any patterns in the places, times, or situations that end in a puddle. The ASPCA has a great article for solving some of the most common behavioral-based house training issues. If your new friend just needs a refresher course in house manners, you can restart them just like a puppy. Establish a routine. Take your dog out first thing in the morning, 20 minutes after every meal, last thing before bed, and anytime he looks like he might be ready to go. Better to err on the side of caution and take some extra pit stops during this important learning phase. Supervise the potty break. Go outside with your dog or take him on the leash for every potty break. This way you can reward the good behavior or work on establishing a training word for peeing on command if you so desire. Training your dog to ring a bell hung on your back door is a great trick too. Supervise or crate confine at all times indoors. Just like with a puppy, you need to be present to reinforce the good behavior. If you have to step away, using a crate or putting the dog into a small space, such as a bathroom, will naturally help keep him from peeing. Most dogs prefer not to soil where they sleep and will hold it on their own in a confined space. Reward the wanted behavior and ignore the unwanted behavior. No need to rub his nose in it or shout at him for accidents. If you do catch him in the act, a loud, startling noise may stop him from continuing, though. A can of pennies or jingling keys might be just the thing to get his attention midstream. I hope these pet peeves have helped you out, because I can tell you that if you make a few of these changes, your dog's manners will now match his obedience. It's well worth the time and investment in making these changes in your daily life. Breed of the day, the Appenzeller Sennenhund. As early as 1853, the Appenzeller cattle dog was first described as a high-pitched, barking, short-hair, multicolored cattle dog of a Spitz type, and used to guard the homestead and to herd cattle in his native region of Appenzeller, Switzerland. Pushed by breed promoter Max Seiber, the Appenzeller was designated a breed of its own by the Swiss Cynological Society in 1898. Initiated by Professor Dr. Albert Heim, a committed fancier of Swiss cattle dogs, the Appenzeller Sennenhund Club was established in 1906 to promote and preserve the breed. Dr. Heim set up the first valid breed standard in 1914, and with that the compulsory registration of puppies in the Appenzeller Dog Stud Book. Today, the breed can be seen all over Switzerland and in other parts of Europe. Though considered rare, numbers of Appenzellers are slowly increasing in North America as well. The breeding stock is still very small, and it is only by careful and responsible breeding that it will be possible to establish and consolidate its natural and outstanding hereditary qualities. This breed has not been recognized by the American Kennel Club as of yet. I've been lucky enough here in Alaska to have trained 3 Appenzellers, and I find them quite fun. They're very smart, eager to please, great trail dogs, and they adapt to our temperatures here in Alaska quite well. They are not easy to train. They do take a lot of time and energy, but it's well worth it in the end. Thanks for listening to The Daily Dog.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.
If you like our podcast, there are a few things you can do. You can take a couple of minutes and go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also check out all of our DogWorks Radio sponsors and promotions in our show notes. Another thing you can do is go over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, and one last thing, please tell all of your friends by spreading the word about DogWorks Radio. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really appreciate you.
DogWorks Radio is produced by Robert Forto. Logo art by Angry Squirrel Studios. DogWorks Radio is produced in conjunction with KVRF 89.7 in Palmer, Alaska.
For dog training advice, you can contact Alaska Dogworks at 907-841-1686 or visit their website at alaskadogworks.com. If you have a show idea or would like to be a guest, please contact us by sending an email to live@dogworksradio.com.